Hey, what's up guys? This is Dan Schwartz with the 80/20 Investor Academy. Welcome to this video. We're going to talk about scaling and specifically the right order of scaling. I have a framework called the 80/20 forces that we're going to go over in just a bit. But let's first talk about who this is for. So if you are an active real estate investor, meaning you're wholesaling, flipping, buying and holding, doing land deals, whatever it is, if you're in the business of buying and selling real estate for profit, you will relate to this video and you'll be able to get the pattern out that really applies to no matter what exit strategy you're in. If you are already actively doing deals, you've got some capital to invest into the growth of your business, then this video is for you. And this is the whole foundation of the 80/20 Investor Academy, the program that I run that helps active investors scale from that 6-figure annual mark to 7 figures and beyond. And it all starts with this 80/20 forces here. And this also represents how the content inside of the 80/20 program is structured. There's 3 main categories: generate, monetize, and scale. The most important one, I believe, is scale, because it's the thing that's most often overlooked, and most of the other coaches and programs out there only focus on lead generation and monetization. But really, if you want a business that runs without you, you have to focus on some of this scale work, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, let's talk about the issue here. The order matters, right? Most investors think that if you start with filling your pipeline, meaning just getting new leads in the door, and put all your energy on lead generation, then it's going to solve all your problems, right? In reality, if I were to drop 1,000 leads into your business right now, what would happen? It'd probably cause some chaos and friction, and there'd probably be leads slipping through the cracks because you don't have the foundation set up in order to handle that type of capacity. So you're too busy working in the business to do stuff that will make you less busy, because you're making yourself more busy by filling up your pipeline with leads. And so I think a reason that most investors burn out is because they think that the right order is to go clockwise like this. Focus on lead generation, then we can look at the sales stuff, acquisitions and dispo, and then we can kind of start to look at the team and put a plan in place retroactively. Well, that is not the proper way to scale. The right way to scale, if you watched my video previously on how to go on a sabbatical, then you'll know that it's all about building from the bottom up, the bottom of the funnel up. And even before that, really dialing in your operations by installing an operating system that can help run your business continuously on a day-to-day basis. I'll talk about that on another video. So let's run through each of these categories just so you're familiar with how this works, and maybe even start to rate yourself as a red, green, or yellow on each one of these to see where you stand and where you have room to improve. Now, of course, the right way to scale your business is to start with your team. Making sure that you have the right people in the right seats, and to make sure that you are the leader of your organization and not the operator of your organization. So really this is all about going from an operator to a leader on your org chart. And then eventually you can hire a leader and you can be completely off the org chart. The next thing you want to look at is time. So the best entrepreneurs, they don't increase capacity for deal flow. They buy back their time so that they can focus on creating leverage, which will, of course, lead to more deal flow. It's a subtle distinction, but it's important. The best entrepreneurs buy back their time. So are you trading your time for dollars, which would be a red, or have you completely removed your time from your income generated? And you do that through systems and processes, which we go deep inside the 80/20 Investor Academy. So rate yourself on a scale of red to green, where you would fall in that category. Then, once you have that in place, you want to look at planning. Now, planning is essentially, do you have a set of goals, targets, and strategic initiatives mapped out for the next year? If no, then you're a red. If you do, then you're probably a red or an amber, or a green or an amber here. This just means that you're running your business intentionally. You're not just waking up and throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. This is an important part of scale. If you don't have a plan in place, then you're planning to fail, as that quote goes. The next thing we want to look at once we have scale dialed in is monetization. And monetization, of course, means the transaction of money, how you're actually getting paid. And in the real estate investing business, dispo is how you get paid. This can mean finding a tenant and getting that first rent check, flipping the house on the open market, or flipping it to a buyer if you're a wholesaler. However you're getting paid, that is what dispo means. And we want to look at this first. This is the bottom of the funnel, because if you don't have a process and you are the bottleneck for this, well, then that's going to be the weakest link in your whole chain here. And so I always say that it's a red if you are just selling the deal to the first buyer that makes an offer, even though if you could get more, because you don't really have a lot of time to maximize your offer price and really maximize profit on every deal that comes in. If that's you, then you're a red. Green means that you're able to maximize profit on every single deal, whether you're wholesaling or flipping or buying and holding. And having a set of strategies and processes, and ideally someone that's responsible for this part of your business, is going to help you make this a green. Now, acquisitions is the big one. Acquisitions is the art of getting contracts with sellers. This is critical because, again, you could generate 1,000 leads tomorrow, but if you don't have the capacity to make offers and build rapport with all these people, well, then acquisitions is your limiting factor here. So we look at acquisitions as a red if you don't have a repeatable process for each contract that you get, or each appointment that you're going on. If you don't have a process for your appointments, if you don't have a script locked down, if you don't have a person who is responsible for doing these and locking up these contracts on your behalf, well, then you will forever be beholden to being the bottleneck for this, where you can't really scale marketing because you only have 24 hours in the day. So acquisitions is a green. If you've successfully been able to replace yourself from it, it has a repeatable process every time a seller is speaking with you or your team. It is a consistent experience for them instead of like a willy-nilly, every appointment is different type of thing. So we want to look at that to make sure that that is the case. And we have a bunch of trainings, including the Rockstar appointment flow, and we have a whole training on how to hire an acquisitions manager called the AM Blueprint as well that helps you with this. Now, strategy is basically what is the exit strategy and what is the model that you're following. Are you a national wholesaler using PPC to get leads? Are you a probate investor in North Carolina? Are you doing, land, where you're just buying the lots and splitting it up and selling to a builder? What is your strategy? And it's a green if it's simple and profitable. It's red if you're leaving a lot of money on the table because you're giving half your deal to some JV partner, and all it would take is for you to install some simple system to recapture that 50% of your profit. Most people I speak with are already a green, but it's important to know what is your model for making money and making sure that that is dialed in. But first, we need to make sure that scale is created. We need to make sure that you have your dispo acquisitions and a strategy dialed in. Now we can start to look at lead generation and actually filling up that pipeline, because now there aren't any bottlenecks, because we can increase our ad spend or marketing or number of leads or number of calls you make, whatever that is, and you'll have the capacity to actually get those deals done because you've created scale and you've removed yourself as a bottleneck from the actual monetization of your business. So now we look at lead generation. Nurture is the big one. This is your pipeline itself. So are you letting things fall through the cracks simply because you haven't set your CRM up properly and you're not following up? If that's the case, then you're a red. If your CRM and your follow-up system is like Fort Knox, nothing falls through the cracks, you're getting a hold of, and everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do to use the CRM properly. If that's you, then you're green, and I would rate yourself a green. Most people aren't. We have a whole training called the Lead Pipeline Maximizer that shows you how to become a rock star at follow-up. This is important because it's another one of those bottleneck points. If things are falling through the cracks, well, then you're not able to maximize your monetization. And then, of course, the next thing is authority. These are your free leads. And this is referrals, deals from the MLS, from agents, from other wholesalers. What is your ability to command deal flow from your market? If you are virtually unknown in your market, you're a red. If you are the go-to investor in your market and everybody sends you all their deals, then you're green. And we have a bunch of trainings that show you how to amplify your authority in your marketplace, because sometimes those are the best deals, right? Zero marketing is always great. But then once you've got all this dialed in, you have a machine. Now you can start to fill the pipeline with some paid ads and traditional, direct to seller marketing, like direct mail, cold calling, SMS, pay-per-click, bandit signs, whatever you're doing, driving for dollars. You can use this as a spigot that you can turn on at will. If you're able to turn the lead faucet on at will, you're a green. If you don't have any systems in place, you don't have a proven way to get leads, if you don't have a way to remove yourself as the bottleneck from the lead flow, well, then you're probably an amber or a red. But we want to get all of this stuff set in place first, because it doesn't matter how many leads you get. If you can't convert them and if things fall through the cracks, there's no reason to invest into marketing. Otherwise, you're just dumping money down the drain. So this is why the order of things matters. And that is the 80-20 forces workflow. I hope this was helpful for you. On the next video, we're going to talk about something different. It's called the 80-20 roadmap, which basically digs into each one of these areas and gives you specific initiatives, who to hire, what to focus on, and making sure that you're focusing on the right things and not distracting yourself with things that might not be relevant to where you are right now. So again, my name is Dan Schwartz, and I hope this was useful. If you're actively investing, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you thought about this. Subscribe to the channel if you want more of this type of business training for real estate. And if you, of course, want to book a call and chat with us, you can go to join8020.com. There'll be a link in the description or in the info on social media for you to apply to speak with someone on my team and see just exactly how we can help to get you to that 7-figure annual revenue mark. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.